Hello, my name is Anne, and welcome to a Tobyknits Quilty Fun podcast, episode number 3. So what is a Tobyknits podcast? Well, I'll tell you. It's all about my crafty goodness that I love to do. Mondays I talk about knitting, Wednesdays I talk about cross stitch, and Fridays it's quilting. Quilting is a fairly new craft for me, so be kind when I show you some of my quilting pieces. I'm still learning all the terminology and making sure my edges and points all meet and do what all they do, but anyway, it's tons of fun. I'm really enjoying it. Never thought I'd like it. I've sewn for like years and years and years. I made a wedding dress for a friend. I made all my maternity clothes, so I know how to sew. That was never the issue. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever to cut up pieces of perfectly good fabric and sew them all back together. Now I love it because I just love it. I can't even explain. I love the cutting aspect. I love all the designs and the beautiful different designers and fabric that they bring out. I love the shapes that you can make with all these little pieces of fabric. It's fun. It's fun. So let me show you what I've been working on. I tend to try to do one quilt all the way through, but we'll do blocks of the months as well. Only because I don't think I have the headspace to be able to work on 2 or 3 different quilts at the same time. I am also learning how to machine quilt them myself. Oh yeah, before we get started. So I went to Taylor's in Brockville. It's a quilting shop in Brockville. I'd been there years ago and it completely threw me off when I first walked in because it looked so different. Because I guess they'd redone it and changed it around, maybe painted it, I can't remember, but anyway, it looks fabulous now. It looks really good and so much easier to find everything. Anyway, I went in because I had ordered a ruler foot because I want to learn to do ruler foot. I'd ordered a ruler foot from Amazon and it came and it didn't fit either of my sewing machines. I have 2. Mine is a really old Singer sewing machine I've had for like 35, 40 years, and it literally just does zigzag and straight stitch. That's it. And the other one my daughter-in-law gave me when they moved to Nova Scotia, and it's a brother and it has all these fancy doodads and things on it, and I basically straight stitch on that too, but anyway, whatever. So this ruler foot would not fit on either. I couldn't get either of them to move the fabric underneath, just didn't seem to want to go. And I had bought 1 or 2 rulers and it kept jumping over the top of the ruler and breaking my needle, and oh, it was driving me up the wall. So I went to Taylor's and I said, help. So they found me a ruler foot. It's a westerly ruler foot for a low shank machine, which both of mine apparently are low shank machines. What I didn't know was you can get 2 sizes of rulers. There's a 1/4 inch thick ruler, which was what I had, and an 1/8 of an inch thick, which is what I think I need. Who knew? Just by going into your local store and asking questions. My gosh. So anyway, not only have I bought the ruler from them, I've signed up for a ruler class. Not till February, but I'll keep you apprised of that. Show you how I get on with that. So anyway, the first quilt I am working on right now is from my October sew sample box, and this was the last box we've received so far, only because there's all kinds of shipping delays. So this is this one that I'm working on. I will flip you around as we fall over together to my design wall, and you will see that I have got started to piecing it. So this is the first row, all pieced. It still needs to be edged off a bit there, like straighten up. But I finished all my blocks the other day and got all the borders around these. So next will be to put these strips here and here and here, and then the shorter strips there. There's a big strip that will go in the middle, which I've cut and have to sew end to end yet. And then there will be the big thick border which goes on, which again I also have to stitch end to end. So all my pieces are ready. I'm hoping to be able this afternoon to get this finished piecing. But it's really nice. There's words on here. It's kind of very pretty. Very pretty. I like it. It's for my husband, so for his birthday. So I don't know if I can zoom in. No, I don't think I can. Anyway, let's come back here and sit down. So that's the one thing that I'm working on the most at the moment. I think you're tilted. Let me tell you about it there. What else? Oh yes, I did, as I mentioned to you last week, in the Sew Sampler box, you also get a block of the month, which is a Sherry McConnell Quilt-A-Long called Bright Side. And there it is. You get the block, and you don't get any of the fabric, and the fabric that's in the box has got nothing to do with this block. You can actually buy these separately at the Fat Quarter Shop if you want to join in the Bright Side Quilt-A-Long. So here is this one that I have made following the instructions on the little card. So it came out really good. Now I am using a layer cake in what is the name of her fabric for this? I forget. Oh, I can't even remember. Well, whatever the name of this is, Happy Days. Happy Days is the fabric. I just bought a layer cake to see if I could get, and so far, so good. I've got all my blocks, and I've had to use this one twice. But because I've used this one twice, the first time I used it in only a small square, let's see if I can find it, was in this one. So I had to then cut 4 squares out of that fabric, and I literally didn't have enough for 4 squares. So I sewed a little bit on the edge of the block that I could cut out. I think it was 3 inches or something, and I needed it bigger than 3 inches. So you can hardly see. And then because I put these on the corners, it took away. So you can tell. So I really like this one. I like Sherry's designs. They're really nice. So now I've caught up and got all my 6 blocks done for the Bright Side Quilt-A-Long, which is awesome. Now, she started another Quilt-A-Long, which is completely free. That one is a paid for one, but the other one that she started, she did one last year and she's doing one this year, and it's completely free on her website. I will send you a link so you can see that. And this is block number 1. And apparently the way it's going to work is each month you're going to have this churn dash, and then inside of the churn dash will be different blocks, smaller blocks. So I've printed it all out. I haven't cut anything out yet, but I've got it all printed out and ready to go. And I really wanted to use her new Seashore Drive fabric, and she did offer some kits which would come to you monthly so that you could have just the right piece that you needed. So I had emailed her to ask her, was it possible for me to get some, because she'd had a couple of people say that they didn't want it now, and she had a few extras. But apparently she's not shipping to Canada right now, and I don't blame her. Oh my gosh, like the shipping rates are ridiculous, and it takes so long to get anything, and you don't even know if it's going to make it or not. Like, it's, you know, it's really scary. So I said, no problem, don't worry about it. I'll come up with another plan. So in this, you can make this a 12-inch block or a 6-inch block. And if you're going to make the 6-inch block, you need fat eighths. And I think you need 12, I think she said 12 to 18 fat eighths or 12 to 16 fat eighths. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. So I had received from the Fat Quarter Shop a while back, well, November, it's November 2021. It's the Petite Fat Quarter Bundle, and it's called Fresh Fig. And so what I did was a fat quarter, a fat eighth is half of a fat quarter. So I thought, I'm going to be clever. So I went and I took all that fabric that was in the fat quarter bundle and I cut them in half to make a fat eighth. So I am going to make the Quilt-A-Long with her with these 12 fat eighths. And as and when I need more, I'll just pull another color from stash if I need. Isn't that lovely? I love that one. If I need more, I love that color green too. Then I will pull more fat eighths, but these will be the bulk of the ones I'm going to use for the Quilt-A-Long. Then I thought, okay, what am I going to do with the others? So I checked her website because I love her quilts. And this is one of the quilts that she has. And I'll leave a link to that, to her Etsy store. And this uses fat eighths, and it uses 12 fat eighths. So I am going to make this quilt with these 12 fat eighths. Isn't that crazy? So I am going to get 2 quilts out of one petite bundle of fat quarters. And a petite bundle is 12. Normally, I think a fat quarter bundle can range from like, I don't know, 24 to 32. And they're very expensive if you're buying the full bundle. And I thought, oh, I can't afford that. But that's why I like getting the fat quarter petites from the Fat Quarter Shop. It's a monthly club that you subscribe to, and each month they send you 12 new fat quarters from that particular designer's line. So it's a great way to check out the lines and the designers and figure out which one you like the best. And I like everything to coordinate, so I much prefer having a line where I can use everything that will blend and match rather than shove in a piece that doesn't look like it belongs. But so I'm going to make this and the other quilt. So what do you think of that? I think that's a great idea to get 2 quilts out of one. Obviously I have to get background. Oh yeah, so the background I'm going to use for this one, and you can do these all in the scraps, or you can do one fabric. So I have chose to do one fabric, and I'm going to use this. Now, I only need a half a yard, and I have 2 yards here, so I have plenty to do my churn dashes in that. And then, of course, just the bleached white for the background around this. And then, of course, these will all be for the pattern. So that's what I'm doing there. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do here. I do have another 2 meters or 3 meters of, I think it's ivory. I might use the ivory for that one and figure out what I want to do for the border. But anyway, that's what I've got going on there. Plus, of course, I've got the one for Tristan that I have started but not really done. That was the school primer for Tristan. Oh dear, didn't I just say I'm not going to work on 2 at the same time? See, this is what happens. This is what happens with quilting. You get addicted. Stop calling to me all you projects. Anyway, That's all I have for you today. Plenty, isn't it, really? And I hope you have a fabulous week. I will see you Monday if you're interested in knitting for Tobyknits edition, or Wednesday if you like floss tubes and you want to see how my cross stitch is going. If not, I'll see you next Friday for another Quilty Fun. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.